Get him now before the police come.
T-minus 5, 4,
Hey, come here.
3, 2, 1. Ignition. Liftoff.
The white zone is for immediate loading.
La zona blanca es...
This afternoon. Fabulous.
I'm Danny Bonaducci, and you are watching Govs Radio. This is where you go if you want to see something or if you want to hear something funny. Coming up in just a couple of minutes. This is a joke I told. What? I'm not on Gov Radio? Call the police. Call my agent.
The Knockem Dead Comedy Radio Show also brought to you by Two Eagles Auto Body. For more than 25 years, Two Eagles Auto Body has been the leader in auto body repairs and customer satisfaction on Long Island. Two Eagles Auto Body handles every type of auto repair, from custom applications and restorations to repairs involving insurance claims. So call Two Eagles Auto Body and ask for John Rossi at 516-328-2527.
along first. Behind the bag. It gets through Buckner. Here comes Knight, and the Mets win it.
Hello, Tony. Mookie Wilson here, 1986 Mets. How you doing? Long time no see, man. Hey, man, I miss you guys, man, at Knockem Day Comedy Radio, man. I miss you. I wish I was still up there, man. But I'll wait till it warm up a little bit, and hopefully this year things will be a little bit better, man. But when we're talking about comedy, hey, the early years of Mets was a lot to laugh about. You had to make a lot of comedy off those guys. Hey, hope to see you guys during the summer, and hopefully you'll get back on the show, man, at some point in time during the course of the year, all right? All right? Yeah, fine. Contact me, man. All right, Tony. Talk to you later.
Hi, everybody. Happy Thursday to you. Welcome to the Knockem Day Comedy Show right here on Gov's Comedy Club Podcast. Thanks for joining us today. We are live from the legendary Governor's Comedy Club right here. I'm here. Andy's here. And we will be joined shortly by Pastor Mike Signorelli from V1 Church. Bosie's watching. Good morning, Jeff. Jules is watching. Jules is all excited. I was pleasantly surprised that Jules knew who Mike Signorelli is. And she said she loves him like a fangirl. And she's probably going to kill me for saying that. So, Jules, what exactly does that mean, that you love him like a fangirl? Do you think he's hot or something? Jules will be in here with us Monday. It's always fun when Jules is here. We got all sorts of great guests coming up. Jen Snortland's coming up in next week or the week after. Comedian Karen Krench will be joining us soon in a couple of weeks. Hope you guys enjoyed Tuesday with our new Tuesday co-host, Sean Elliott. Yeah, I had a great time with him. I think he's a really funny guy, and I'm glad he's going to hang around with us for a while. Good morning, Vicky. Jules says, I love me some Pastor Mike. Carol is watching. Good morning, Carol. Carol, so you're awake, Carol. I'm guessing maybe you haven't slept at all? You're celebrating your Texas Rangers win. Congratulations to you, Carol. Although, Carol, I don't care what you say. You're still, you're a New Yorker in my book. I still think you should be rooting for the Mets. But congratulations. The Texas Rangers won the World Series last night. Now, and I'm happy for them. Happy for Carol, of course, because I love Carol dearly. However, I think the attention this morning should go to the losing team, the Arizona Diamondbacks, because they're the Arizona Diamondbacks, because their manager, Torey Lovullo, had, I think, the best quote ever with anything, because he was, talking to the press after they lost the game, and he's, tearing up and discussing it. And finally they asked him, all the press is asking all the stupid questions. How long do you think it'll take you to get over this? And how are you feeling right now? All blah, blah, blah. Torey Lovullo finally just says, I want to run away and hide for a few days. I want to go camping and just sit in the tent and suck my thumb and eat ice cream. Is that the weirdest answer you guys have ever had? I thought that was just perfect. I want to go hide for a few days, go camping, sit in the tent, and suck my thumb and eat ice cream. I'm laughing just repeating it. I thought that was classic. So congratulations, Carol. And Carol says, yeah, baby, world champs. Is this if I'm not mistaken, is this the first time the Texas Rangers have ever won the World Series? I think it is. So, Pastor Mike Signorelli from V1 Church will be joining us. He should be joining us on Zoom in about 5 minutes. And Lisa's here. She's going to join us, too. I just realized your hands are in the shot.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead. Just wave. There's. Oh, you're coming on. Look at that.
I'm shy.
I'm shy. Why? Why are you shy?
I don't know. I just am.
You get a little.
I just am shy. That's all.
Got to get a little closer to the mic.
I came here for Pastor Mike for the interview.
She doesn't come in when I ask her to come in.
Well, yeah. All right, I'll come in more often.
Oh, cool.
Well, it's not easy. I gotta.
You got a life.
Make
you got to work.
arrangements at work and
I
stuff.
hear you.
I had to work more the past few days to be able to be open right now.
Let's see. Jules says, no, not that. Just shares the gospel, and that makes me admire him. Carol says, yes, this is the first time they've won the World Series. Been 3 times. Last one was 2011. Oh, you mean since they made the World Series, but this is the first time they won? And then Jules says, yes, he is handsome, though. Oh, okay. I think he's stealing my look, though, the shaved head beard look. I had that first,
Maybe he copied you.
I think he did, and I might have to have a word with him.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Is it a good look? Do you think he's handsome?
Yeah, I think he's a good-looking guy, sure. What?
Well, what about me?
Well, I think you're good-looking, too.
Oh, well, thanks.
But
I had to pull that out of you.
But why, if I say someone else good-looking, why does that mean that you're not? Just because I say someone else is, then you get all,
Well, because you got to tell me that I'm good-looking first.
Oh, sorry. I didn't know you needed all this extra. You might have to visit V1 Church more often.
Why is that?
You're too offendable.
I'm too offendable. You think?
Mike Signorelli can tell you all about that.
I'm not offended. I'm not offendable.
You just got offended when I didn't say you were good-looking.
I'm being stupid because we're on the air.
Okay.
So, well, speaking of offendable, we have a comedian. I don't know if have you seen Fat Jay?
I think I have.
Oh, very funny guy.
Yes,
Jay.
I think I have.
So if anybody talks to Jay today, I mean, I'll tag him. I'll post it later and tag him. But if you watch the show fairly regularly, especially when Jay's on, you guys may know that Jay always bugs me because we have banners outside, and there's a fence in the back here, and the deli next door is they have a drive-through. So we put banners on the fence so as people are driving by, they see the banners. In fact, that's happened at Sammy's basketball. Sammy plays the special needs basketball, and one of the aides for one of the other kids came up to me like a year ago, just walked up. She goes, "Did I see your face on a banner at Governor's?" I'm like, "Yeah, that's me." So I do get we did a murder mystery last week right here in Levittown, and I had the Levittown Fire Department. Sure enough, some people were like, "Oh yeah, I saw you on the banner." So it's good. It's good advertising for the station out there. But Jay has been complaining for probably like 2 years now that he doesn't have a banner out there. Oh, okay. At first I fought it, and I said, well, you don't have a show in here. But then I was like, you know what? Maybe he's right. Maybe there should be a banner with some of our friends. So you can reach out to Jay if you want. The banner has been put up. There's another shot of it. So that's basically if you're going through the drive-through, that's what you're driving past. And yeah, there I am. And now, all right. So here's a better shot of the banner. This is exactly what it looks like. So you got Chris Monty on the top. Below him is Jeff and Don. Below them is Roach. Then Richie Byrne, Dan LaRocco. Then on the other corner, of course, is our Andy. Below him is Tim Gage. Then John Ziegler. Then Haft and Carey. And then Cravella on the bottom. The main picture is John Butera. There's Jay next to Joey Cola and Michelle Fox. So there you go. So I hope Jay's happy. And, of course, now I'm already thinking, like, tomorrow Laura Patton's going to be here. She's going to see that. And, yeah, so I may have to make a second banner with other people. But, yeah, so you can tell Jay that the banner is up. And maybe Jay will stop bugging me. Pain in the butt. Vicky says stop fishing. Yeah, Vicky's because I was fishing for you to tell me I'm good looking.
Well, that is true.
Andy, stupid because I am on the air. True, you're right, Andy. Which you can verify. It's not just because we're on the air. Oh, there he is. Hi, Mike. All right, give me a...
Hey, can you hear me all right?
Yes. Give me a second, though, to just set you up really quick because we're live. Let's see. Give me a second. There we are. All right. And then the viewers, if you guys wouldn't mind, please let me know that you can hear them because that would really help if we can hear them. So, okay.
Sure we can hear him.
There he is. So you can hear us okay?
I can hear you just fine.
Excellent. Thank
Love
you
it.
for joining us, sir. Good to see you this morning.
Hey, it's so good to be here with you. I'm excited about this. I'm making my world debut as a comedian right now.
Is that right?
Yeah. I mean, people know me as a pastor, and they're like, pastors can't be funny, but I think I can be hilarious.
Yeah, I'm going to disagree. I mean, we've I think I would say that Mike's kind of funny at times.
He's very funny.
Yeah, we went to the marriage conference, and you were especially funny that night. You were especially a little on the naughty side that night. But,
Well, listen, God, I don't know what I can say on air.
you can
but
say anything you want.
Okay, God created sex, and like, so I think that gives me license to talk about it. So maybe it was unnaughty, but yeah, that was fun. And listen, he who laughs lasts.
Exactly right.
I have to learn how to laugh at myself. Being a pastor is hilarious, and I have to laugh at myself because everybody else is laughing at me too.
Good answer. Yes. And we actually have a few comedians hang around the club here that we're excited that you're coming on today. So, and that was a pleasant surprise to know that some comedians, one is watching right now. Her name is Jules. She says she watches you every week. One of the services.
That.
Yeah.
Well, did you know? Okay, so I think Joe Rogan said this on his podcast, but he was saying that because Joe Rogan's also a comedian,
right?
And he said, he's like, I've always respected preachers that have significantly sized churches in America, because when you're a comedian, you're trying to fill up a club, but some of these guys on every 7 days are filling up stadiums. And so, like, I know Chris Rock is on record by saying that he routinely listens to pastors because he's like, what are they saying? Especially the ones where people will listen to him every week, Right. So it's not comedy, but it's like, how are you captivating people? So it's definitely a craft,
What are your thoughts on with like somebody like Chris Rock? I mean, he's not a preacher, but he has his beliefs, he has his faith. So is that still considered, and I think it's safe to say that it's, God-given talent. So, even though he's not, up there preaching, but he's still doing good work, yes?
He's preaching. I mean, straight up, I believe that every comedian is a preacher, even if every preacher is not a comedian.
Okay.
Because like Chappelle, you listen to Dave Chappelle, he's preaching. There's definitely an agenda. There's a motive. He's Chris Rock's the same way. I'll put it like this. There's always a value system, and you're always preaching through that value system. And, George Carlin, I think about, that guy was preaching.
Oh, he sure was.
He was extremely prophetic. There's some things he said that we're living in it right now.
That's right.
So, I think, like I said, not every preacher is a comedian, but I feel like every good comedian's a preacher.
Right. Yeah. And then unfortunately you have people like Sam Kinison, who was a pastor at one point and then kind of fell a weird way, but supposedly was working his way back at the time he was at the time we lost him. All right, so I got a lot to cover here. I know our time is limited, so again, we thank you for joining us today. First question. Now, I received an email yesterday. There was talk about you possibly coming on earlier, but you had another interview to do, and they said that you probably won't come on earlier because you need to go to the bathroom in between interviews. So are you good? You made it?
You know what I did for you guys? I'm wearing an adult diaper right now, so I want the audience to determine when they think I'm going in my pants. So I know we're on live, so you try to tell by the inflection of my voice whether I'm going or not, and then if it's number one or number two.
That was the best answer. I didn't see that coming at all. That was fantastic. All right, now of course we're going to get to the movie and all other stuff, but my other question, I need to know. This is very important to me because because I do think I'm older than you, obviously, and I think you stole my look with the shaved head and the beard.
You're a very attractive man. Come on,
Well,
somebody.
your nose is growing as you say that. But I want to know. I need to know. How do you keep? You have the most perfect beard. I mean, it's like, it's cropped perfectly. I need to know how you do that.
Okay, no, that's so funny that you mentioned that. The fact that you even, like brought it up, we're bonding because like not a lot of people have that value. So here's the thing. It's literally every time I would go to the barber, they would line it up. First of all, it would grow back in 2 days. I'm Italian. I'm Sicilian.
2 days, 6 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. So part of it was like, I got to figure out how to do this on my own because I can't afford to do this. And then the other thing I feel like, and some of the men know what I'm talking about, I feel like shaving is the only version of male makeup we have. So it's like, the only way I try to go from like a 2 to a 4 for my wife is by lining my beard up nice.
Wow.
So yeah, I just taught myself. Every time I just emulate the barbers, and eventually I got it. So I'm like, oh, I guess this is what they're doing.
So that you're just taking a razor by hand and doing that?
I'm literally taking an actual razor and just following the line. Going in, over time I got better at it.
I think there's painter's tape or something going. I don't think we're getting the full story. Wow, I'm impressed. You got a talent there,
man. There's an unemployed barber out there somewhere mad at me that I figured out his trick. So
right.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get to the important stuff. Domino Revival came out last week, coming back November 13th, correct?
Yeah, November 13th for an encore, which is crazy.
We enjoyed it. We thought it was a great movie. Tell us, give the viewers just a little thing about what the movie is.
Yeah, well, let me just start by saying I used to be an atheist. So if anybody here is skeptical, or maybe you're anti-pastors, anti-religion, cult leaders, let me just tell you, that's where I come from, that perspective. I'm a huge student of science and philosophy. If you hate religion, so do I. We know, taking advantage of people, all that. Matter of fact, whenever you're against something, you have two options. You can complain about it, or you could do something to fix it. So for me, as a former atheist, I remember getting to the point where when I did accept Christ, I thought, and a lot of it came through me studying an astrophysicist named Dr. Hugh Ross. And so once I finally arrived to that conclusion, no, you know what? I do believe that Christ was the Messiah. And it took me years of reading and researching. Then the next conclusion was, I've got to be a part of the solution instead of just criticizing every church and all religion. So I actually partly started a church in response to, hey, if you're skeptical, so am I. Let's do this together. And so anyways, the movie kind of charts like my story and kind of how I wrestled with some of that stuff, in my childhood. And then it also shows other people across the US who are grappling with God and their own story. And we basically captured there's no paid actors. It's a documentary. And I just accumulated footage from my life as well as theirs and just showed some things that are seemingly unexplainable, like medically verifiable miracles and people saying something, then it coming true, and God told them to say it. And it really just causes people to sit in the theater and to say, what do I think about this? So, at the end of the day, though, the goal of the film is to confront some of these things we're seeing in society, like a dramatic increase in mental illness, suicide, drug addiction. And it's my attempt to deal with those issues in the film. So thankfully, what happened on October 24th is we had over 20,000 people scan a QR code to say, I want to take my next steps. I'm canceling my suicide. I'm stepping out of addiction. And I want to do something about this. So, again, people can hate on religion. They can hate on God. I get all that. I'm empathetic of it, but I think the result of the film speaks for itself. We hit number 3 in the box office. We were only beat by Martin Scorsese, Leonardo DiCaprio, and the Exorcist franchise. So for being a DIY movie, a do-it-yourself movie, I think we did pretty good.
Wow. Yeah, I would say so. You and Marty just right up there. So let me ask, because you talked about starting a church, being anti-religion, and forgive me if this is covered in the movie because I don't recall it being there. How did you go from? So you start your own church because you're anti-religious, and believe me, I have my own problems with a lot of organized religion as well. But how did you go from atheist to finding God again or for the first time?
Yeah, so it actually goes back over 25 years now. I was at Indiana University Bloomington, IU, so it's a Big Ten, and this is like the height of my atheism. And so I started, but I'm also first generation college student on both sides of my family. So I started with this, hey, what do other people believe? Because I only knew, Northwest Indiana hillbilly, culture, like blue collar, you just straight up uneducated people. That's all I knew growing up. My family was so poor. We never went on vacations. I never saw the world. So now I'm first generation college student. And I started this group called Spirituality Talks where I was like, hey, what do you believe and why? Because now I'm surrounded by, atheists, agnostics, Hindus, Muslims. And we started these conversations. Well, the university found out because it kept growing and growing. And they actually said, hey, you've got a couple hundred people now in these talks. What if we trained you and you came back and did like an adjunct professor role you taught like world religion survey? So before I even graduated college, my junior and senior year, I taught world religion as like a survey course. And what was crazy is when I got to the Christianity part, I was trying to debunk it. So I was trying to prove like, this is why the Bible's not true, blah, blah, blah. And as I was going on that journey, I found this guy, Dr. Hugh Ross, who is a renowned astrophysicist based out of Canada. And he was also trying to debunk the Hebrew account of creation as an astrophysicist and couldn't. So he got checkmated and ended up being like, well, the Hindu Vedas are wrong scientifically, so Hinduism's out. The Quran is wrong scientifically, so the Quran is out. And I'm just telling you what this guy's saying.
Yeah, sure.
And then when he got to Christianity, he's like, I can't disprove the biblical account of creation through an astrophysicist. So when I started getting hooked into his stuff, I came full circle, rededicated my life to Jesus Christ. And then I remember crying, being like, my mom was right, but my mom doesn't know anything about science. So that's kind of how my story, I know that's a weird, matter of fact, on my YouTube channel, I have a viral interview I did with him, Dr. Hugh Ross, and was able to tell him this story like 20 years later.
Oh, wow. That's wild. And speaking of which, that's a perfect segue. You've been, I personally think this is why you've been very successful with getting the word out and getting your church so widespread. I mean, you've just completely tackled social media and YouTube and whatnot and just taking advantage of the technology that's out there. It reminds me, love him or hate him, Bill Clinton in the 90s when he embraced the MTV generation. I personally think that's what got him elected. He grabbed the young guys and got himself out there as like the cool places. And you're kind of doing the same thing. You're getting out there in all the places where, again, all these accessible places like YouTube and social media. I don't know if other people are doing that, but I don't think anybody's been as successful as you. Do you think that's, kind of helping you?
Yeah, well, you gave me another perspective on it. I want to start by saying I hate social media.
Yeah, me too.
That's the ironic thing about it. It's a cesspool of negativity. I mean, some of the most low IQ people living in their mom's basement are in the comment section. Like, for real. I mean, it is, and just hateful. Like, and that's the other thing. It's like, going back 20 years, people would try to have a legitimate conversation. And now it's like it's so polarizing.
Yes.
But so the thing is, for years, I avoided social media because I was like, you know what? I don't want any part of it. And my goal is not to be famous. That, you don't go into ministry. Well, you shouldn't. Let me say this. You shouldn't go into ministry trying to be famous. It was actually during the pandemic. I was super depressed. I live here in New York City. And we had 3 locations of our church that shut down, and I couldn't minister to them. I couldn't speak to them physically because we don't own our building. So I couldn't stay open if I wanted. We were just renting buildings.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, I told my wife I'm screwed. And she was like, just go online. Just do what you do in real life online. And that's when it just exploded. Because again, I think if you're going to go on the internet and your goal is to be famous, you're going to be super cringy and people are going to see right through it.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
agreed.
People know that. And that's what I love. I'm not originally a New Yorker. You can tell by my accent. But one thing I love about New York is it's hard to lie to New Yorkers. If you're full of crap, they'll tell you, dude, you're a joke. You know, we don't believe a thing you're saying. And what I like that about New Yorkers, you know? And so I think when I went online, people are like, you know what? I don't agree with this preacher, but he legitimately seems authentic about what he's saying. And he's not trying to take advantage of people.
Yep.
And I think that there's no way, because people always ask me, what's the algorithm? Teach me how do I get a lot of views on my video? I'm like, they either want to listen to you talk or they don't. you know?
Right.
Like, there is no algorithm. It's like either people want to scroll past you or they want to hear what you have to say.
Even the ones that don't want to hear it or disagree, they want to hear it so they can come out with their negative comments.
True.
Yeah. Do you? And I agree totally with what you said about social media, but there is I try to stick with the good part of it, which is, reconnecting with old friends, keeping up with all your friends and find out what they're doing, what their families are doing, seeing photos. I've really I worked hard at it, but if I see something I don't agree with or anything negative, I just keep scrolling. I don't engage. I don't do anything. And it thankfully allows me to enjoy the social media more, especially, during something like a lockdown where I'm just able, all right, this guy's carrying on about Biden or Trump. I don't need to hear it. And I just keep going. And, I'll talk about baseball and I don't know. And, just stupid stuff. And you are very authentic. You took social media and took it over, and you're very authentic and you're very transparent, which I think is very important. In fact, we were watching it. What was that, Sunday night when Mike were you live Sunday night on YouTube? Was that Sunday?
Yes, the welcome home.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you even said it at one point that the finances are all available if anybody wants to look at it. I mean, that's important. That's important stuff because there are unfortunately people before you that have gotten in trouble, and I think it's important to even mention. I think it was around New Year's last year. You had I think a billboard at Times Square or something.
Yeah.
And you even mentioned that was donated. You didn't take church money to pay for a billboard in probably the most expensive advertising space in the whole world. So these things are important, and I think it helps.
It does, because that's the thing about it. But see, when I read scripture, that's the way the apostles used to talk. Paul said, hey, I have a thorn in my side. I'm struggling. Paul also said in New Testament scripture, Paul said, hey, I'm the chief among sinners. Like, I used to be the worst sinner, and now God called me into this thing. I don't know why I'm here. I just said yes. And, somehow in the 80s and 90s into the 2000s, we got celebrity Christianity where the pastor's goal was, how perfect can I present myself? And, I just think culture is not about that. And so for me, I think it's comforting to just share with people, hey, I got a thorn in my side. Like you mentioned the marriage conference. We told, we had a sold out audience. I think we simulcast to over 50 locations nationwide. Wow. We had 2,000 people in that room. And I said, my wife and I still argue. It's healthy arguing. But I said, if you don't ever argue, it's because somebody's cheating because they clocked out. They don't care.
Oh, wow.
One of the evidences that you both care is you're still arguing. Actually, when couples come to me for counseling and they're like, yeah, we haven't argued in years, I'm like, one of you guys is cheating because somebody clocked out. And when I say stuff like that, people are like, what? A pastor's saying that? And it's like, yeah, because if I stood up in front of 2,000 people and said, my wife and I never argue, your first thought is, yeah, right, bro.
Right.
Or somebody's checked out, because, and so, but again, I think pastors have been afraid to be vulnerable. And so I just, hopefully it's a fine line though. It's vulnerable without sin, like the Bible says, anger, but sin not. So it doesn't say don't get angry. Right. It just says, hey, when you're angry, don't sin. So I think it's the equivalency of like, hey guys, I never get angry. And people are like, yeah, right. It's more of like what people want to see is like, man, I get angry and I used to throw the dishes, but now I don't. Let me tell you what I learned.
Right. Yeah.
You know, I used to
that's
punch
it right
a hole
there.
in the wall.
Yes.
Yes.
I used to punch a hole in the wall. Now I don't. I still get angry, but
Right.
here's how I stop punching holes in the wall. And then you get blue collar guys who are like, I'll listen to this guy.
Right.
You know, so I think that's what, you know, listen, there's only one Jesus.
Yep.
And it ain't me.
Now with the movie, so it's getting the encore November 13th, which is fantastic. What made you make the movie now? Was it just funds or getting the crew, or did you feel that is there a particular reason why this has to come out at this time?
Well, what's funny is, so I went on a self-funded national tour towards the end of the pandemic called the Domino Revival. And it was mainly because, like you mentioned, I started blowing up on the internet, and I was like, I want to meet these people in real life. I want to hug them. I want to hear their stories. So I've just cashed out my retirement, my savings. I'm just like, I'm going to go. This was like post-pandemic. I'm going to go from location to location across the U.S. and whatever. Well, I filmed it because I was like, this feels significant. It feels like something important. But then I was thinking like, 30 years from now, maybe it'll be a part of some documentary or something, you know, of what's happening in Christianity post-pandemic. But then one of my team members heard that the CEO of Fathom, which, if you don't know, every major movie in America comes through Fathom. So whether it's Lord of the Rings, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, whatever, Barbie, it goes through Fathom for distribution to AMC, Cinemark, Regal. And I heard, and so it came through the grapevine that he listens to my preaching every week. So one of my team members was like, what do you want to do about this? And I jokingly said, message their team and say, if this is true, we want to do a movie. And they were like, well, what's the movie? And I was like, I don't know. I'll make something up by the time we get to the meeting. This is like a real conversation. I was like, I'll make something up. So then all of a sudden I get out of that conversation with a team member, and I just get this idea, and I'm like, what if we do the Avengers Endgame of revival? Like, and you know, kind of like how Tony Stark and all these Avengers have to save the world. They all have to come together despite their differences,
right,
and to save the world. And so I was like, you know, me and all my ministry friends were all different. We don't all agree on everything. One's the Hulk, one's Spider-Man, but we all come together because we're fighting something bigger than all of us right now. And that was the plot of the movie. So then I sit down with the Fathom guy, and I'm like, hey, here's the movie. And immediately they're like, yes, it's approved. And I'm like, what? So I come out of that meeting. I go back to my team. I'm like, guys, I have good news and bad news. And they're like, well, what's the good news? I'm like, the good news is we're doing a movie. And it got approved to be in all the movie, you know, Cinemark, AMC, Regal, across America. And they're all like, yes. I'm like, what's the bad news? I'm like, guys, we don't know how to make a movie.
We have to write a movie. And Fathom approved it because they're picturing you in some kind of superhero with a cape.
Yeah, they think that we can, you know, somehow we faked them out.
Right.
So then I went on this journey of figuring out, like, how do I make a movie? I asked like 3 times total, 2 or 3 times. I just asked everybody, if you want to see this movie, donate. We raised the funds, and then we just made the movie. And then, like I said, now imagine, fast forward. Now, I was raised in a trailer park by a single mom on welfare. So, like, imagine you hit number 3 in the box office. I'm laughing hysterically. I'm like, this is God.
Right.
There's no other explanation. My life should never. This is not supposed to be the plot. My dad went to prison for murder. He died prematurely. Like, my gene pool is very dysfunctional. You know, you don't make movies,
right?
You know, and it makes me want to cry even saying it out loud. Like, you don't do this stuff. And that to me is the gospel. Is when he just wants a yes. You give him your yes. And then, you know, one of the scriptures says, if, you know, greater he that is in me than he that is in the world. And it's just like, I'm telling you, it's supernatural favor. It doesn't make any sense. Then it was only supposed to be one night only for the 24th.
Right.
Now they got back to me and they're like, hey, because of the demand, we're going to give you guys another night, which also shouldn't have happened. So my expectation for November 13th is crazy off the charts, you know?
Yeah, that's great. Congratulations. And I hope at least, it's safe to say, you know, and it's fine that you, of course, made money from the movie. So I hope you pulled Mom out of the trailer park.
Well, let me say this. I'm being brutally transparent about all this. We still haven't broken even yet.
Come
So
on,
there's
really?
Yeah, it is so expensive to make a movie, and like I think it's reporting a little over 500K for that one night, which is cool. But it's a split that you do with the other. You do a split with the theater chains and stuff.
Sure.
So as of right now, we haven't broken even yet. But my goal is to hopefully with the 13th we exceed. And listen, Jesus had a purse holder. People don't know this. Judas' role was actually keeping the finances because they had to have finances to get 13 men, Jesus 12 plus 1, traveling all over the Galilee to do ministry. It costs money.
Right.
And actually what caused Judas to betray Jesus was a woman did this extravagant offering to Jesus with this heirloom, with this oil. And it was equivalent to it was as expensive as 1 year's wages. So imagine $70,000 in perfume that this woman just lavished it on Jesus. And Judas actually got super ticked off. And he was like, Jesus, we could have given that as, to the poor. And Jesus clapped back and said, Judas, you don't even care about the poor. And the Bible says that when that exchange happened, that Satan forcibly entered Judas' heart. So it was actually an argument over finances that caused Judas to betray Jesus. And a lot of people don't know that.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
So that's why I am very transparent about finances. Our church is very generous. We support every Christmas, for example, we adopt 3 what are they called? Shelters in Brooklyn. And we just provide Christmas for the entire shelter, top to bottom. And we've actually scaled that to 5 countries worth of shelters in the last 7 years.
Wow.
So, there's nothing wrong with having money, just like Jesus had money. It's what you do with it, you know?
Like going shopping at TJ Maxx.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, my wife, that's another story.
Okay.
She's the $3 shirt queen at TJ Maxx. She's like, it's basically free. I'm like, you bought 13 of them, Julie.
But they were on sale. You saved money.
Yeah. It's like we saved.
That's great. All right. So we got a little less than 10 minutes. There's so much I would love to talk about. So, but I know I'm all over the place. Sorry. So
yeah. So
going back a little bit, November 5th. What do you got going on at the Space?
Oh, okay. Yeah, I am going to publicly announce this. So, we have the 5th is the Space at Westbury. I've got my good friend Daniel Chan from London. So he has a funny accent, but he's super powerful. And then I've got Tony Horton, who's like a viral worship leader. So we're going to be at the Space at Westbury for a 9 and 11 a.m. So you could pick a 9 a.m. service or 11 a.m. service. And we're going to fill that thing up. We have our New York City people coming out. We got our Long Island people coming out. So that's the 5th. And then the next day on the 6th,
right,
we're actually shutting down Times Square. And so and we're doing a big event. Excuse me. And I've got some of the cast from the movie coming out. And so I would get there around 5 or 6 o'clock so that you can be there. And yeah, we're shutting down Times Square on the 6th. So it's going to be a very power-packed Sunday and Monday.
Yeah, I mean, shutting down Times Square. I mean, that's
huge.
That's huge. Yeah,
I'm excited about
you
that.
kind of. I mean, maybe you're used to it, but you're saying it like it's like this room is like the size of a bathroom, and you're saying it like we're filling up this room.
Well, yeah, and you know what? Even that, now again, I just wanted to, for all the listeners, we could have some pro-Palestinian, protest that ends up getting it canceled. Times Square is volatile where it's approved until it's not approved. But as of right now, you should see a big stage that has Domino Revival movie branding and us. But yeah, I mean, what's crazy is I had a viral video a couple of weeks ago, and as a result of it, got an invitation to Gracie Mansion to be with the mayor's, the mayor and his team.
Wow.
So we're getting a little bit of favor there, And listen, there's all kinds of wacky people doing events in Times Square. Why not a win for the home team?
Right. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Yeah, absolutely. Fantastic. So that's this Sunday and Monday. That's what time again on Monday?
Monday, it's officially starting at 7, but I'd get there with some margin just in case, because there is going to come a point where with the barriers, they don't let people in. So I'm trying to get people around 5-ish.
Yeah, and I think it's I think you're going to fill that up. All right, now I'm gonna switch gears a little bit. Now I know I've heard people talk about they've heard. God has directly talked to them, and sometimes you have people that say they see a light when they're when God kind of appears to them. Have you ever had anybody tell you that Jesus is like physically appeared to them, like you actually see the man?
That's such a great question. So later on today on my YouTube channel, I'm actually interviewing a producer of a new movie called After Death. I think that's the top or the title. I think it's After Death. I'm obsessed with after death experiences, by the way. So I love hearing people's stories of I died and this is what happened.
Yeah.
And I'm going to actually focus more on those types of stories on my YouTube channel in the next couple of months.
Oh, wow.
And I'm doing an interview later on today about that. So yeah, I have heard many accounts. Matter of fact, to me, what's really compelling is, and again, I know this is gonna be a little controversial, but I'm just spitting data, is I've talked to countless Muslims who have died and actually have encounters with Christ, and Christ tells them that I'm not just a prophet, I'm actually the Messiah Savior. And then they come back and leave Islam, and it's super controversial in their family. I've heard countless atheists who die and literally stand before God as Jesus Christ and say, it is true, religion's got it messed up, that kind of conversation, but I really am who I say I am. And those are really compelling, but it's not your time, you're coming back. And these people end up becoming these really hardcore Christians. So those stories have always intrigued me. The other thing is I've also heard accounts of people dying and going to hell. And, it's, everything starts getting hazy. It's the smell of sulfur, smoke, and it's dark all around, the voices, the torment, and that kind of stuff, which quite frankly terrifies me.
Yeah, man.
So, I'm obsessed with that stuff. I know even our church is filled with medical professionals that work in like hospice care who tell all kinds of crazy stories of people on their deathbed. And, oh, my family members are here to get me with angelic visitation. And I love paranormal, all that stuff. Like I'm in. I love those conversations,
Wow. Okay. Well, I'll be very curious. Yeah. Very curious to see what you're going to be showing us. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay. So, I'm going to let you go because I know I know you're a very busy man. I am just going to quickly say, I think a little while ago, you in mid-sentence, you said, excuse me. I think that was the number 2. And I think when you were talking about the Endgame and Avengers and all, I think you were doing number 1 at that time. So that's those are my guesses. You wanted us to guess, so I didn't lose sight of that.
Oh my goodness.
Okay,
Let me check my diaper and confirm.
It was a real pleasure talking to you today. Lisa goes to your church every Sunday. I'm there most of the time, and I've seen you. And I think it's a great place, and I thank you for your time and all the best with the movie and on Monday at Times Square. And I hope you come back and we can talk some more.
Tony, you're awesome, man. I had so much fun. Yeah,
Good.
Let's do it again anytime.
Cool.
Thank
I'll
you.
definitely take you up on that. And then real quick, the socials and websites, where can everybody go?
I would tell everybody it's an Italian last name, but if you go to Mike Signorelli, so SIGNORELLI.com, all of it's linked there, YouTube, Instagram, whatever. So MikeSignorelli.com.
Okay, cool. Very nice. Again, Mike, you very much for your time.
Awesome. Yep. Talk to you soon.
All right. Sounds good.
All
Thank
right.
you, buddy.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Oh, yeah, he jumped right off. You see that? He was gone. He's a busy man. What? I don't know what that is. Okay. Hang on. Bear with me a second. Get myself together. Okay. Very nice. Very nice. Well, that was cool. Right?
That was very cool. Yes, that went very nice.
Of course, I'm already punching myself because you had a question for him. First of all, I should have let you ask it, but I didn't even. So yeah, I didn't get your question out, and I didn't even let you ask it. So I'm already in trouble.
What question?
Oh, you don't even know what I'm talking about?
No.
You wanted to know if he plans on having any special needs programs
Right.
at the church.
Right. That's
So,
okay. Yeah. Next time.
Yeah, we'll definitely. Yeah. Well,
That's okay. Yeah.
He'll. Well, I'm definitely taking him up on it. He said he'd like to come back. And now that he knows who we are,
Yes.
we can probably get him back. Did he know you already or no?
Well, I'm not so sure. Like, the church is always so busy. He's passed me a few times. I did actually talk to him once in the very beginning. Somebody introduced me to him, so we did have a conversation. But I don't know if he recognized me or not. It was just because I know you were so pressed for time.
Yes.
So I didn't say,
yeah.
I go to Long Island campus.
I found it hard to sit and relax, and I mean, we had a fine conversation. It went.
Right.
I think it went great, but I found myself constantly checking for time because I knew he had to go.
Right. Right.
So I hate
yes,
that.
I would have liked to have elaborated more on the Jesus apparitions. Especially just
Right.
that and.
Yeah, we'll have to get him. We got to get him
other
in
things
here.
That
we got to get him in this room and sit him down and just talk for a while.
Yeah.
And then
maybe we can, now that he knows who we are.
Maybe we'll make it. Now that he sees that it was harmless.
Yes.
Maybe he was coming into this not knowing what kind of comedians he was getting involved with.
Maybe.
So, and I also wanted to ask, but we ran out of time, and this probably would have taken up the whole thing. I don't know if you heard about this. I just read it this morning. Popular Mechanics posted an article this morning. They're saying that researchers from a trio of universities in Turkey and the United States have found what they think could be Noah's Ark. Did you hear this?
I did not. But that, I'll have to look at Answers in Genesis. They probably would have something like that. They usually on every Monday they answer.
I'm sorry, where?
The website is Answers in Genesis.
Oh.
And that's who... We
Not
went
Phil
to
Collins.
the Creation Machine Museum, and we went to the Ark Encounter. They're part of that.
Oh, it's the Ark Encounter? I always say the Ark Experience.
No, the Ark Encounter.
I'm stupid.
So that's a website, and that's an organization that they're affiliated with those two museums. But they would definitely be covering something like that. So I will tune in this coming Monday.
Yeah. So they're saying. They're analyzing the rock and soil in the famous Darupanar. Darupanar? Do you have any idea what I'm talking about?
No.
It's the Darupanar Formation on Mount Ararat.
Yes.
Mount Ararat.
Okay, I think that's, where...
It's the highest mountain in Turkey.
Okay.
They believe that the boat-shaped site may hold the ruins of the legendary Noah's Ark. The biblical account of Noah tells of God instructing Noah to build a giant ark to spare his family and pairs of animals from an impending flood meant to destroy the evil and wickedness running rampant on earth. Noah's Ark is said to have come to rest on the mountains of Ararat following a 150-day flood about 5,000 years ago. But researchers now believe they found evidence of human activity near the boat-shaped formation in the mountains from 5500 BC and 300 BC. Let's see. They're trying. Yeah, they think these are the years following Noah's Ark. Sorry, I'm just this human activity, however, does not a biblical account prove, according to this article. The Darupanar Formation has been put forth as a potential ark resting place for many years and has received extensive attention from those hoping to find Noah's Ark. Despite the hype, archaeologists have consistently reaffirmed over the years that the formation is natural, not the result of a petrified shipwreck, and that there is no geological record of a global flood like the one described in religious texts. Some believe a more local flood has been possible. But they're still trying to figure that out.
Right, and a lot of those questions, well, because we had this, we went to those two museums. They answered a lot of these questions, and you can find the answers to these questions and the discussions to them on Answers in Genesis website.
And I did. I talked about it
because they talk about the local flooding and what a lot of it is assuming that the Earth is like 1 million years old.
Right. And I have talked about it at length here because I don't. It doesn't to me. To me, it doesn't matter what your beliefs are. I thought the Ark encounter was a very interesting place. I personally didn't feel like they were shoving any opinions or any beliefs one way or another. It was just sticking to what's been put out there. And this even says, it's going to take years to, try and really figure this out and see what's what. So
right, I'm curious to know because there's been a few discoveries where they thought it was Noah's Ark and then it ended up not being it. So, but I'm curious about this, so I will be reading up on that.
All right, so that was really cool. That was really nice of them to give us some time, and I think that's kind of cool. All right, so the other thing I wanted to talk about. We got a few things to do today. I finally put together a video from my trip to England 2 weeks ago. Can you believe it's 2 weeks already? Like I say it all the time in life and in here. I'm just always so amazed how fast time goes. All right, so Bosie was commenting quite a bit while we were talking to Mike. He says, "Move over, Joel Osteen." Fremder, I'm Joel Osteen.
Osteen. Yes.
Fremder,
prosperity.
Yeah. Fremder says, "I'm all for believing what you want, but honestly, where was Noah during Hurricane Sandy?" Oh, Fremder. Fremder is, he's known for jokes like that. All right, so I'm going to show you a little while. I'm going to show you a video from my trip to England. I'm also going to play some music in a little while. Elio, who I went to see in England, he just put out a new live album. He's been doing the Billy Joel shows where he believes Billy Joel is the greatest American singer-songwriter ever. And that's what his Billy Joel songbook is, where he just explains it and he plays the songs and talks about it. But he also does another Billy Joel show where he plays full albums of Billy Joel from start to finish. And that's why I went, because he's been doing all these and I haven't seen any of them. And this was the last one. This latest one he's doing, he does the concert, and it's always he does tours where it's 2 albums in the show, 2 Billy Joel albums, and he'll tour at that for a while. Then the next tour is 2 different albums, and so on and so on. So this last tour was the last tour. He was doing the last 2 albums that he hadn't covered yet. And he's not doing it again. So I wanted to go catch it. But now he's releasing CDs. Excuse me. He's releasing the audio of all these concerts. And he just put out the Billy Joel album, 52nd Street. He just released that. And he put 2 songs out on social media. So I'm going to play one of them in a little while. But you're leaving soon.
I'm leaving in a few minutes.
Right. So this last thing that I wanted to cover while you're still here, there's this person by the name of Heman, Heman, Beckel, Bekele. So I don't know I don't know how to pronounce that. But anyway, that's his name, however you say it. Okay. And he recently entered a science competition, and his one single sentence to describe his mission is to cure cancer 1 bar of soap at a time. This person, Heman, he's 13 years old. He has come up with a type of soap that will prevent skin cancer.
Wow.
Yeah. Fairfax County is where he goes to school, which I forget where that is, Fairfax. But he's originally from Ethiopia. A soap that could help fight skin cancer at a cost of less than $10 per bar. The soap would be made with compounds that could reactivate the cells that guard human skin, enabling them to fight cancer cells. So he wants to change the world for the better with a single innovative idea. It took months of trial and error to create a prototype with a combination of compounds that could work effectively. He used computer modeling to determine the formula for the soap prototype he planned to present. The soap is called Skin Cancer Treating Soap, SCTS, Works by using a compound that helps revive dendritic cells. Dendritic.
Yeah, dendritic.
Dendritic. Yeah, you're the smart one here. You got to back me up. Which are killed by cancer cells. So it revives them. Once the dendritic. Once the dendritic cells are revived, they are then able to fight against the cancer cells. In essence, it reactivates the body's healing power. That's amazing, right?
Wow.
So similar creams and ointments exist, but we believe that soap has never been used to fight skin cancers in their early stages. So he's got a 5-year plan to get it all together, to get the approval from the FDA. He's working with some other scientists. So, he wants to start a non-profit to distribute the soap in the future. So, so I thought that was amazing.
That is pretty amazing.
Wow. Yeah, all the cancer stories always hit me, kind of hard because we went through that with mine. You believe it's been in fact. Oh, what's today? We just see that.
No, we passed.
We just passed.
14th.
It was the 14th of October.
That was Columbus Day weekend that year, 2002.
Yeah. See, that's a nice thing, right? That we can go past the anniversary and not even think about it anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's nice. I like that.
It took a while.
It took a long while.
Yeah.
Understandably, I think it's it's hard for anybody to go through it, and especially me because I'm a wimp. So I thought that was pretty cool, and I'm glad we got through that, and I'm glad we are forgetting anniversaries.
Yes, those type. Yes.
Yes, those type exactly. Yeah, that was.
That's good.
Yeah, absolutely. Fremder, has anybody ever seen the interview where Billy Joel was talking about how he wishes he was Elio Pace? I know I talk about Elio a lot. Bosie, his selling point is the one bar of soap you don't want to drop in the shower. Well, Bosie, you have the remedy for that too, I'm sure. All right, so what time? When are you leaving? Are you leaving now?
I guess I'm leaving now.
Oh,
yes.
okay.
Well, if you're going to switch gears, yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to do the. I'm going to show the trip to England, and then I'm going to play Elio's song after that.
Okay.
So.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Okay. Yep. Lisa's out of here. So So I put together a little video documenting the trip to England that I went on because I went by myself because other people didn't come with me.
Because I had to work.
I had to work. Yes, I had to work. No, actually it worked out because our dog ended up getting sick, and then our daughter ended up getting a cold. So it ended up working out. But you were missed.
Next time.
Next time is right.
And I can go spend time there.
Well, right.
I would love to go.
I think that was part of it. She's like, "You're going for one day? You're an idiot." So yeah, I'm the only one of the few idiots that would go for one day.
Yeah, that would have been a lot on me.
Where everybody now is like picking on me. People are, "How was your trip?" "Oh, it was great. It was only one day." But like, what? What's wrong with you? So, all right, yeah. So I'm just gonna play this video. Enjoy. I'm in London, or I don't know where I am. I don't think I'm in London. I don't know. I just got off this. This is the North Terminal. This was the airport over here. I'm staying in this hotel right here. And then I have to take a train to London to see the concert, which is like, I think, a half-hour train ride or something. I'm in England somewhere. Yay! Yeah, I'm about to walk into the hotel. It's 7:15 in the morning. It's not too bad. It's like in the 60s, so it's not too bad. It's been raining. But yeah, 7:15 in the morning here. Caught a 6:20 train out of New York. So and I didn't really get any sleep on the train, on the plane rather. I didn't get any sleep. There was lots of turbulence, like almost like half the flight, and then there was a crying baby. Still raining. So I got about 3 hours sleep. But that's fine because I'm excited about my day. I'm gonna go to Abbey Road. I'm still at the hotel. I'm gonna go to Abbey Road. Maybe do a little shopping, maybe find something for the brats. And then, off to see Elio this afternoon. I'll join him in the band at the theater in a little while for sound check and hanging out. So, it's gonna be a good day. Except I'm gonna see that guy, Carl. Trying to figure out where I'm going. This is it. There it is. Can you see it? There's the sign. All right, I'm gonna do the crosswalk.
Kind of mind. Yeah. Ooh, did I suddenly see you? Ooh, did I tell you I need you every single day of my life? Oh yeah. You didn't run, you didn't lie, you knew I wanted just to hold.
This is where I'm going to get in trouble. I'm just going to take a quick shot of, I'm walking in the Abbey Road parking lot, not supposed to be here. Just going to get a quick shot of me at the steps. There it is, the steps and the Abbey Road sign. Not supposed to be here. I could have died.
To get you into my life.
Never had a problem with you driving this group. I think it swings whatever you do.
Okay, cool.
Whatever you feel comfortable.
I'll just do whatever's natural.
Yeah, natural. A little bit of this, a little bit of that. Maybe for the bridge, maybe.
Yeah.
Change it.
Yeah, just didn't want you to end up with something that you're not happy with. And
I see what you mean.
Yeah. Or you think it's stepping on Amy's shape or... No, yeah.
We go. Let's go from the second verse, the Valley of Fear. Oh no, go from there. Go from there. Let's go from the top. From the mountains of pain to a river so deep.
You done that in tribute to Benny Hill last
Points. What's the name of that track? Some days I have to give right to the blues. Despite how I try to keep fighting, it's your shot. I'm gonna lose. I'll tell you why. You think I'm crazy? It's such a sad conversation, but can you blame me? What's been causing my bad disposition? Ain't nothing you without a new situation. Ain't nothing's fine, it's just a minor variation. You all right, Mike? Okay, that's brilliant.
I was just gonna, I'm not sure.
You can turn your back on what you do. Just a little smile is all it takes. Yeah, you can have your cake and eat it too. Loneliness will get to you somehow. But everybody loves you now. Deeper devotion is all about soul. Some girl love is a stronger emotion. There's so many things getting out of control. Try the world, so why does she stay? It's all about soul. Just a little push, you'll be just a little push, you'll be
your trip to
I never ask you where you go. After I leave you in the morning, we go our different ways to separate situations. It's not that easy anymore. Today I do what must be done. I give my time to total strangers. But now it feels as though the day goes on forever, more than it ever did before. Until the night, whoa, I just might make it. Until the night, when I see you again. Now you're afraid that we have changed, and I'm afraid we're getting older. So many broken hearts, so many lonely faces, so many lovers gone and gone. I'll have my fears like every man. You'll have your tears like every woman. Today we'll be unsure. Is this what we believe in? And wonder how can we go on until the night, whoa, I just might make it. Until the night, when I see you again. When the sun goes down and the day is over, when the last of the light has gone, as they pour into the street, I will be getting closer, closer, as the cars turn their headlights on. As they're closing it down, I'm gonna open it up, and while they're going to sleep, we'll just be starting to touch. I'm just beginning to feel, I'm just beginning to give, I'm just beginning to feel, I'm just beginning to live. Before I leave you again, before the light of the dawn, before this evening can end, I have been waiting so long.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Elio Pace, ladies and gentlemen. Elio Pace. His version of the Billy Joel tune, Until the Night. Before that, we saw my trip to England to see Elio and some wonderful friends. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you weren't too bored. Let me see, how many people did I lose playing that? The video will be... whoops, sorry. Yeah, I lost a few people playing that video. Oh, well. That's all right. Oh, yes, I did break the law. I was trespassing. That's right. Looked like a packed house. Yes, Elio's been selling out all over the place. You probably sat in section 305. No, I did not. I sat in the back. Yeah, I did. I trespassed on Abbey Road. Second time I've done that. In fact, it was Elio. Elio was my inspiration for that. The first time I went to England, I was with Elio at Abbey Road, and there's a gate there at the front of the parking lot, and the gate was open. So Elio said to me, he goes, "Let's just walk in. Just walk in like you know what you're doing." I'm like, "Okay." And I have them somewhere. I have some great shots. I walked up the steps. Elio took some pictures of me standing on the steps of Abbey Road. Then, just like that, all of a sudden there was a big black guy at the door. "You know you can't be here." Yeah, oh yeah. I was afraid this guy was going to kill me, so off we went. So this time I was like, yeah, I'm going to do that again. And same thing, gate was open. I just walked right up, took those quick pictures, and left. No pics of your other friends. I don't know what that means, Vicky. What other friends? I honestly didn't take a lot of pictures. All the video from Elio's show, those are not my videos. Those were videos that other people took. And a lot of the photos from the show were not taken. They were taken of me, but not by me. I was actually running out of battery on my phone. If you watch the show on Tuesday, I was telling Sean a lot about the trip, and we were talking about all the gay people that I met. And I also mentioned how it took me 3 hours to get home because I didn't know where I was. And I failed to mention that the other day when I was talking to Sean. My phone ran out of battery. So my phone was dead. So I didn't even have that to look to see where I was going. I had to depend on, getting at a train station, getting out and checking signs, and then getting back on a train. Like, it was just a mess. So, yeah, so my battery was low, so I didn't even take a lot of pictures at the show. But, yeah, my friend Carl, who lives in Philly, he flew out, and he was there. There were people that I've met through Elio. There are people I've met through other people that I've met on Facebook through other people who I've been friends with but never met them in person. Pam Murkoff, who once in a while watches this show. But, yeah, Pam Murkoff, Edmund Woods. The two of them specifically made sure to tell me that they watch this show and they think it's very funny. I thought that was great. There was another guy. His name escapes me right now. I feel bad now. But there's a gentleman. He's an actor, and he was actually in the movie Snatch. If you guys are familiar with that movie, he was there, and he said he enjoys the show. And I met one of Elio's close friends, Ian Cunningham. He's an actor as well, and he's been in some big things. And we hit it off. So he's agreed to do this show at some point. So I'm gonna have to talk to him. And set up a day because that'll be a lot of fun. He's a big Beatle fan as well. So, yeah, and there were some other friends there as well. John Brett, who wrote a book about Billy Joel's fans. He was in here when he wrote the book. He came in here to promote it. In fact, me and Sally and Eric, we're in the book. He talks about us, and there's pictures of us. Elio is in the book. Our friend David Clark is there. So, yeah, John Brett and his lovely wife Sharon, they were at the show. Yeah, so there were a bunch of great people there that I met. The ladies from after the concert. Oh, yeah. Like I said to Sean the other day, I should have taken pictures with them. Although, again, I think my phone was completely dead by the time the concert ended. But yeah, if I had battery and if I had smarts, I would have just said, "Hey, let's take a picture. Come here, trainee hooker. Let's take a picture." That would have been really funny. All right. It is time for us to get out of here. Thank you guys for joining us today. I thought it was an interesting show. We don't get too political. We don't get too religious in here. But But I do like to talk to people from all different walks of life, so I thought that was kind of cool to talk to Pastor Mike. Hope it wasn't too much. And thanks for indulging me and letting me play the video of my trip. A lot of people have been asking about it. Even Sean said it the other day. You didn't post anything. Elio too. He contacted me. What happened? You didn't post anything from the trip. Did you not? Did certain people not know you went? I'm like, no. Everybody knew I went. I just didn't. It just took me all this time to finally sit down and take a few minutes to sit down and organize all the footage and make a video out of it. I am posting the video on YouTube this afternoon. Just the trip, but also tacked on at the end is me and Sean talking about the after stuff, Vicky, from the other day's show. I tacked that on the end. So that'll be out there soon. I got word during the show that Treading Water with Hugh and Travis will not be on today. Turns out Hugh's been out of work. It turns out he got a job, so he's working. So we actually have to figure out a new schedule for those guys. But they're not on today. We'll keep you updated on that. But we do have my True Crime Obsession tonight at 7 and Primal Scream tonight at 9. I'll be back here tomorrow. Sorry. We also have Circling the Drain today at 6. So 6 o'clock, Circling the Drain. 7 o'clock, True Crime Obsession. 9 o'clock, Primal Scream. Tomorrow I'll be here with Laura Patton, and, of course, Andy will be here. That's tomorrow. Don Versations returns tomorrow. Don will be talking to the one and only Kristen Carney, who sat in here with me, what was that, a week or two ago? And I don't know. I got to talk to Don. I don't know if we're doing Green Room this week. I think I can do it. So I just have to talk to Don. And, of course, Knockem Dead Comedy. You can see us tomorrow night in Deer Park. Actually, yeah. I mean, they're billing it as a private party. It's at a church. But if anybody wants to come see us, if you're near the Deer Park area, let me know. I'll get you in. Or you can go see a great show at Governor's this weekend. Just a few of the comedians you'll see on a Governor's stage this weekend. Jimmy Dore, Carla Okerson, Joe Pontillo. Joe Pontillo was on Coffee with the Dog this morning. Eric Marino, Mike Cannon, Chris Barnes, just to name a few. Go to govs.com and check out the full schedule and find out what's going on. Make some reservations. There's some great comedy shows. Tom Green is coming to Governor's in about like a month. Vic DiBettetto is coming back again. Always great stuff. At Thanksgiving weekend, you got Bobby Collins. So lots of great stuff. Govs.com. Don't forget KnockemDeadComedy.com to check out our full schedule and what we got going on. And Elio wishes he owned that many motorcycles. I wish I had that kind of money where I could own a bunch of those motorcycles. Yeah. I don't particularly want to own motorcycles. I would own... I don't know. I was going to say women, but that was bad. I couldn't think of anything else that was somewhat funny. All right, I'm out of here. Enjoy the rest of your Thursday, and I'll see you in here tomorrow with Andy and Laura. Thanks for hanging out.
Hey, what will you experience at a Knockem Dead Comedy murder mystery show? Suspense, excitement, love, more love, violence. Well, not really. And, of course, some music. Knockem Dead Comedy is the #1 murder mystery troupe, entertaining thousands of people for over 20 years.
You have a great night or what? Good.
Their hilarious murder mystery shows are full of audience interaction from beginning to end that will keep you laughing all night long. Their shows are not to be missed. Knockem Dead Comedy's murder mystery themes include a mob show, a redneck wedding, a high school reunion, a family reunion with a luau theme, or your own custom show.
Johnny, you have a good time tonight or what? I had an awesome time. All right. She had a great time. KDC, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah!